Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. Today is it. Bobbie part 16. It is the end of Bobbie Spencer. I'm actually proud of us. I know we're releasing this on January 1st, 2026, but
we made it through.
I'm going to give us credit that we actually wrapped 2 characters in 1 year.
There you go.
Even though Lucky was a full year, we finished him in 2025. And I do think that had Anthony Geary not passed away, especially the week that he did, I think that we still probably would have released Bobbie on Christmas because it had been such a long time since she passed on the show that it was like,
right.
We all know it's okay, but not where we just recently had a real loss. And so this year covers 2019 to 2024. And Amanda had written this up beautifully before Anthony Geary had passed. And we were just like, well, we'll just record it next week. And she even made sure that there was a note in there saying Shannon has to start so that Amanda talks about funeral, implying Bobbie. And now it is going to cover both Luke and Bobbie's funerals. If it winds up being that I wind up having to talk about Luke's, I do think I'm going to be okay because I don't like how they had him pass on the show. So
right.
There's that. Although then I have the realization that we really are stuck with that.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay. I'll be fine. And everyone at home laughed. You can just hear Morgan Freeman doing the voiceover now.
Right.
But she was not okay. All right. So we will get started at the Metro Court. And you just used Fandom, Curly Q, and YouTube, right?
Soap Central.
Soap Central.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to get better at saying our sources because I think I gave up. I think I just kept saying I watched a lot of YouTube on Lucky.
Yeah.
Towards the end. So, and as you guys remember, or if you're newer to our show, we have stopped announcing which YouTube videos, what creators we watch things from, because a lot of them are being taken down. And so we want to make it more difficult for the people that are taking them down to take them down.
Yes.
And we're not going to tell you who they are. So anyway, the Metro Court in 2019, Felicia and Bobbie are discussing Lucy's book, which includes personal details about many attendees. And this was the travel guide to Port Charles, right?
Yep.
Curtis arrived speaking with Jordan on the phone while Chase joined Willow, apologizing for being late. Lucy began reading from her book, focusing on Sunny and then Bobbie, while Valentine interjected to compliment her work. Peter reflected on Maxie's heart transplant and her safety. Lucy inquired about Kevin's whereabouts while Bobbie interacted with Laura, noting that their complicated history was included in the book. Back at the hospital, I don't remember watching that.
I guess she had like a book release, but I couldn't find it. I didn't like super search for it because I put in more Bobbie than going back to Lucy. But yeah, I don't remember it being anything. I remember everyone being upset about the book, like just in general, continuing, like whenever they'd run into their friend somewhere being like, oh my God, did you read the book? Like, why does she have this in it? But I don't remember like a book launch.
And I feel like there's been pockets of time where we have been so good at using that and the General Hospital scrapbook as a resource. And then we forget about it. And then we're like, oh, shoot, that was probably in there.
Yep.
Because we've never done we've done reviews of other books, but we've never done a full review of that one because it basically is just a resource. It is pockets of information about anything to do with Port. I wonder if that was their answer to, because remember the scrapbook is only until 1993. I wonder if having Lucy do her travel guide to Port Charles was their answer to updating the scrapbook, even though it wasn't as detailed.
Right. That would make sense.
Yeah. I feel like we still need an update to the scrapbook.
Yes.
Back at the hospital, Bobbie saw Lucas and Brad heading out for a date, leaving Michael to babysit Wiley. And Michael was babysitting, did not know that Wiley was his son. So that is not dad's babysitting his kid. No, this is when Lucas and Brad had custody of Wiley. They were kids. Lucas returned later, admitting he missed Wiley. Elizabeth struggled with a book from Franco, which Bobbie had given her. She discussed Aiden's bullying and sexuality concerns with Lucas and Brad. Bobbie met with Felicia to reminisce about BJ and the hospital's work. She also helped Elizabeth reflect on her nursing career and personal growth. Carly came to Bobbie at the hospital for support during her baby's genetic testing. And this is where we forget Donna has spina bifida.
Right.
Carly revealed that she was pregnant and concerned about risk factors, particularly given Sunny's reluctance due to past loss. Bobbie reassured and they proceeded to the doctor. The doctor confirmed Carly's markers were normal and advised focusing on the controllable factors. Carly was then escorted by Epiphany for testing. I am hating it, like everything in this right now.
I'm sorry.
Like, knowing where all these storylines have now wound up, it's like Jax was at Crimson when Bobbie arrived. He was on the phone, and when he finished, Bobbie hugged him, happy to see him before he left. She said she was there to visit Maxie and appreciated Jax being there for Jocelyn. Jax had noticed that Jocelyn was pretending to be fine, but knew she was hurting. He congratulated Bobbie on becoming a grandmother again and expressed hope that Carly was taking care of herself. Bobbie updated Jax on family matters, mentioning Lucas, Brad, and Michael, and that Michael was Wiley's godfather. He shared that Michael was seeing someone new, Nina's daughter, which surprised Jax since he was now working with Nina, to keep his cool with Sunny, and left. Shortly after, Nina arrived and excitedly told Jax that Ava had agreed to appear on the cover of Crimson. And that was Michelle Stafford still, right?
Yeah.
Carly then arrived at the hospital and noticed Bobbie distracted. Bobbie led Carly to an exam room where Brad was writhing in abdominal pain. Bobbie suggested it might be acid reflux or an anxiety attack. Carly was concerned that Bobbie hadn't been informed, and Brad admitted he didn't want to trouble her. Lucas arrived, and Carly updated him before he entered the room to apologize to Bobbie for keeping Wiley's paternity issues secret. Lucas explained that Julian had destroyed adoption records, though Bobbie was skeptical of how thorough that was. Later, Bobbie confronted Julian at Charlie's, furious that he destroyed the adoption records. She slapped him and demanded he stay away. Scott entered as she continued to rant and fainted from being lightheaded, caught by a busboy. Scott took her back to the hospital and urged her to be checked. Lucas eventually examined her, ordered fluids, and ran blood tests, revealing that Bobbie had type 2 diabetes. She was shocked, but promised to take better care of herself, and Lucas insisted she read about the disease and take it seriously. And Lucas is type 1 diabetic.
Right.
Brad later arrived with baby Wiley. Bobbie fussed over the baby and told the men never to leave her in the dark again, emphasizing that her family was her life. Bobbie began researching her diabetes at the nurse's station when Epiphany approached. Epiphany shared that she also had diabetes and advised Bobbie to accept her condition, be proactive, and allow loved ones to help. Meanwhile, Scott discussed with Franco how helping Bobbie made him feel needed, and Franco advised him to consider dating someone out of the fast lane. Bobbie and Elizabeth discussed Bobbie's diagnosis and the importance of support. Scott proposed marriage to Bobbie impulsively, but she rejected it, wanting passionate love rather than comfortable arrangement. Scott admitted his mistake and asked her to accompany him to a wedding reception, which she accepted. At the reception, who got married?
Whose wedding was that? That she wouldn't have been invited.
I don't know. We'll see if we get there. At the reception, there were various interactions. Felix dealt with a drunk Liesl, and Bobbie intercepted Brad and Julian to ensure Liesl's knowledge about Wiley was addressed. Bobbie coordinated with Scott to handle the situation before she, Franco, and Elizabeth left, expressing support and love for each other. That wouldn't have been when Liz and Franco got married, would it?
That could
No,
be.
she would have been invited. She would have been invited to the wedding.
But I think that he invited her, like, let's go together.
Okay.
Not like, oh, you're my plus one.
Check. At the reception, at the hospital, Shiloh requested his medical records from an unfriendly Epiphany. Bobbie dropped off an updated schedule and mentioned Wiley's birthday party, which caught Shiloh's attention. Shiloh asked for the records to be expedited, but Epiphany reminded him that patient care came first. Willow arrived at Charlie's and found Julian, informing him that it was Wiley's birthday and that the party was happening that day. Julian said he hadn't been invited, but Willow explained that it was her doing. He wanted to change that, acknowledging that she hadn't realized Julian had moved past his mistakes. She believed people could change and wanted him to have a role in Wiley's life, telling him he needs a grandfather like you. After a few minutes, she finished a phone call with Brad, having shared the news with him. At the MetroCorps, Wiley's birthday party began. Sasha arrived and offered to help Carly, and together they organized the gifts as Alexis entered with another gift. Carly introduced Sasha and Alexis. While Brad and Lucas brought in Wiley, Bobbie arrived shortly afterward, excited to celebrate both Wiley's birthday and his gotcha day. Bobbie handed Wiley to Sasha for a picture, and Carly took the picture. Meanwhile, Brad told Lucas that Willow had changed her mind about Julian, which pleased Brad, although he acknowledged it was Lucas's decision. Julian thanked Willow for her efforts and went to retrieve Wiley's gift, which he had left in the back. Willow received a text from Lucas inviting her to the party, telling her that she should be there for Wiley. Carly got a drink for Bobbie, who commented on Carly's approval of one of Michael's girlfriends. Carly remarked that Michael had been happy until a call from Nell. Brad expressed frustration about Shiloh's upcoming trial, but Lucas reminded him the day was about Wiley and family. Julian and Willow then arrived at the party. Carly confronted Julian's presence, but Lucas explained that Willow had allowed him to be there. Willow promised to inform Diane the next day, and the family accepted Julian's attendance, with Bobbie emphasizing anything for my grandson. I feel like, in case people don't know this, Willow thought that she was Wiley's mom,
right,
birth mother,
right,
and that she had picked Lucas and Brad to adopt her baby.
Yes.
She thought that Wiley was, and we talked about it probably in the last episode, that that baby had passed away from SIDS, and Nell swapped the baby with Brad.
Yep.
Jocelyn and Dev arrived, and Sonny confronted Dev about taking his car without permission. Do you think Dev is why we have Gio? Because remember, there was all that speculation that Dev was going to be Dante's son, and then they killed Dev.
Yeah, maybe.
I like Gio, but
I liked Dev too.
Jocelyn and Dev arrived, and Sonny confronted Dev about taking his car without permission. Jocelyn explained that the bouquet she brought was for Carly, though it wasn't a real wedding. Christina asked Michael about Sasha's well-being, and he admitted she wasn't doing well. So the bouquet was for Carly. Who was Carly marrying?
That was Sonny again.
Okay. A doorbell rang. Oh, was this a convenience?
No. If Mike.
Yeah.
It was Mike's wedding.
No, because look at the next paragraph.
So Mike and Yvonne got married before Carly and Sonny for the 400th time?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, we're just going to, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop doing this. I know that I do this every single time that I ask questions, but then here's the thing. Sometimes I don't ask questions and then I never go back to asking them and they don't get answered. Christina asked Michael about Sasha's well-being, and he admitted that she wasn't doing real well. A doorbell rang, and Mike and Bobbie entered. Jocelyn walked down the stairs with Avery as the flower girl. Bobbie took pictures with Mike, thanked Sonny for officiating his and Yvonne's wedding. So yes, that was a quote-unquote fake wedding because Mike was in the home with Alzheimer's, and he and Yvonne had fallen in love. And poor Yvonne's husband allowed it to happen.
Yes.
That's a special guy right there that understands. The ceremony began on the terrace. Avery scattered petals as Carly walked down the aisle, and Sonny gave his vows after Carly. The couple kissed after Avery's cue, and the family cheered, tossing petals and exchanging hugs. Inside, Sonny and Carly cut the cake, and Carly tossed the bouquet, which Bobbie caught. After farewells, Sam, Christina, and Michael left, and Carly comforted Sonny, reflecting that renewing their vows had been the right choice. And there we have it. They just renewed their vows. They were inspired by Mike.
Yes.
Shannon, stop. The doorbell rang, and Sonny answered it to find Chase, who had questions about a missing coffee warehouse employee, Barry Ziegler. Meanwhile, Bobbie found Scott at Charlie's pub. She showed him the bouquet from Carly and Sonny's renewal ceremony. Scott discussed his concern about Franco leaving town after his ankle monitor was removed and asked Bobbie to expose him to a virus in the hospital as a way to prevent it. Bobbie angrily refused, insisting she wouldn't break the law. Scott explained that Franco was the only person he had left, and Bobbie vowed to help legally, acknowledging the situation ultimately rested with Franco. Back at Carly's, she finished a phone call about a boarding school when Bobbie arrived to discuss Carly's upcoming C-section. Carly explained that the surgery was scheduled for safety reasons, and admitted she was a little nervous. They discussed the secrecy around the baby's sex, and Carly decided not to tell Bobbie about the possible problem with the baby to maintain peace. Sonny arrived with a bag of goodies from Kelly's before Bobbie left to pick up Wiley. On the way home, Bobbie was stopped by Shiloh, disguised as a police officer. He shined a flashlight in her face, demanded that she exit the car, and tried to take it. When Bobbie revealed Wiley was in the back seat and refused to cooperate, Shiloh left, and Bobbie fainted from shock and stress. Jason arrived shortly afterward to help her. Chase later examined a guard who had been attacked and learned that another man, using the alias David Smith, had helped free Shiloh. Meanwhile, Jason took Bobbie to the hospital, where she recovered from dehydration and a blood sugar spike. She recounted the ordeal and emphasized that Wiley had been in the car. Lucas called the police to report the kidnapping. Willow arrived at the hospital with classroom decorations and learned from Chase that Shiloh had escaped. Brad reassured everyone that Wiley was safe with Bobbie. Lucas confirmed the situation and coordinated with authorities, assuring everyone that the FBI and local police were searching for Shiloh. Willow worried Shiloh might vanish with Wiley, but Chase reassured her, noting that Bobbie's car had been found without the car seat, suggesting Shiloh was on foot. Carly and Joss sat with Bobbie at the hospital, Carly reassuring her that Bobbie and Wiley would be safe. Lucas sat with Bobbie, acknowledging the terror and rage everyone felt. He explained that he had called Carly directly to avoid learning the news from media reports. Brad prayed in the hospital chapel, with Willow kneeling beside him. Lucas joined later, noting that family support was essential in a crisis. Finally, Carly and Bobbie learned from Jocelyn that Dev had found Wiley. Lucas texted Carly that Wiley was asleep at home with Brad, who was watching him closely. Carly reflected on how often parents take their children's safety for granted, while Bobbie admitted that the worry never truly goes away. Carly woke suddenly from her sleep after calling out Donna's name in her dreams. Bobbie was at her side, and Carly immediately asked her to check on the baby. When Bobbie returned, she assured Carly that Donna was sleeping peacefully. Carly expressed relief and anticipation to see her daughter the next day. She admitted she was happy her recent troubles had calmed, though Bobbie was concerned that Carly hadn't confided in her. Carly explained that she hadn't wanted to add to Bobbie's stress from her own health issues. Bobbie assured her that she would always be there for her children. Carly admitted her fear about handling Donna and her challenges, and Bobbie encouraged her, affirming that she was a strong and committed mother and that the writers were going to forget about it anyway. Bobbie presented Carly with a gift for Donna, a music box that belonged to BJ. Carly was touched and tearful as she listened to the music and watched the ballerina twirl. Meanwhile, at Charlie's, Scott met Bobbie and complained that the court had failed him. He admitted that he had gone to Sunny for help, and Bobbie promised to support him and helped him find another solution. At the hospital, Julian tried but was rebuffed by Bobbie, who told him to call Lucas instead. Oh, to talk about it directly with Lucas and not with Bobbie. I'm like,
right.
But he just tried to. Julian insisted he wanted to be involved with his son, asserting that he had proven himself. He later reflected at the memorial wall for Tony, acknowledging Tony's role in raising Lucas and asserting that he only wanted to carve out his own space as a father. Bobbie scoffed at the thought of Julian replacing Tony, but felt proud of Lucas. Tony's spirit appeared briefly to comfort her. That was the best.
That was
like the best surprise, because that was, do you remember what he said to her?
I don't, because I saw it and I was like, nope, I'm going to cry, so I'm not going to watch this. I remember him being there and it just being like, perfect. Are you looking it up to make yourself cry?
No, because I want to know.
The videos are on YouTube. You can watch it.
I know, but our listeners rely on us to have this information for them. He told her that he was proud of her, especially for her role in finding Carly. He assured her that he loved her, saying things like, "You're the best, and I'm so proud of her," reminding her that they would always be connected through Carly and their kids, emphasizing her strength as a woman and a mother. He appeared as a comforting spirit to help her grieve his death from years prior, a moment that brought closure for fans. I'm not going to say that gave us closure, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us are still pretty mad about the fact that we killed Tony.
Yeah. I thought you remembered like something specific that he said that was like super comforting. I'm like, no, I don't remember exactly what he said. I want to know what he said
to her.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I knew that that's what he did. He comforted her.
Well, I'm not going to go and watch the video now, because then that's just going to delay us. That was the best that Google AI could come up with real quick. Lucas's phone rang, and he was warned by Bobbie that Julian was looking for him. He told her that Julian would have to see his father if he wanted him. Lucas returned to Tony's memory, only to find his father gone. Oh, and he appeared to Lucas, too. I forgot about that. And soon after, Julian arrived, prompting Lucas to comfort him. At General Hospital, Willow revealed that she had taken a pregnancy test. We will share what Tony said to Lucas when we do Lucas.
Yes.
At General Hospital, Willow revealed that she had taken a pregnancy test but hadn't shared the results. Chase interrupted with news that Wiley was safe and that Brad and Lucas had been in a car accident. Carly arrived and was updated on the accident, as well as the death of Kendra. Who was Kendra?
That I don't know. I didn't.
Okay. Brad lay unconscious, and Julian expressed that the accident was supposed to involve Brad, not Lucas. Bobbie and Julian joined Carly in the waiting area. Brad dreamed about revealing the truth about Wiley during the accident. The doctor updated them that...
I was going to say, was Kendra someone that Julian had hired? Because Julian caused this whole accident.
Was Kendra, what's-his-face's sister? Was Kendra Kiefer's sister?
Oh, maybe. Remember, because she was drugging all them. Okay. Or drugging Yeah, I was Googling it too.
Yep, Kendra Bauer. Yep.
Yep.
The doctor updated them that Lucas had undergone surgery and was now in an induced coma in the ICU due to brain swelling. Brad woke up with a concussion and bruises, and Willow informed him about Lucas. Brad struggled to understand the accident, recalling that Lucas had braked, but the car hadn't slowed. We need to track that. How many brakes have been cut?
Mm-hmm.
Carly and Bobbie visited Lucas, and Julian expressed concern, but insisted he only wanted Lucas to be okay. Bobbie comforted Lucas, emphasizing the support of their family. She encouraged Julian to speak with his son, leading to an emotional exchange in which Julian asked for forgiveness and expressed regret over the accident, explaining that he had tried to protect Lucas. Brad was allowed to be at Lucas's bedside. Discussions among Carly, Bobbie, Julian, and Brad reflected on how quickly accidents could change lives. Carly and Bobbie sought updates on the investigation, learning the preliminary results were inconclusive. Bobbie emphasized the importance of family support and unity for Lucas. Carly worried about Wiley's safety and planned to feed Donna, but Sunny offered to help. Bobbie reminded everyone that control was an illusion, highlighting the importance of living in the moment. Willow supported Brad, encouraging him to stop blaming himself, and Julian offered guidance on helping Brad process his guilt. Meanwhile, Carly learned that Julian knew Brooklyn, who had misunderstood him previously. Don't know what that means. Monica checked in on Bobbie and Lucas, emphasizing Lucas's importance to the hospital. The doctors informed the family that Lucas was being weaned from the ventilator and the next few hours would be critical. Nell arrived at the hospital with a stab wound, shocking Carly. Chase updated her on the situation but could not provide details. Later at Turning Woods, Carly hoped Brad and Bobbie could join the Christmas celebration. Sunny invited Gladys, who arrived with cookies, while Carly and Bobbie reflected on family presence. Brad, Wiley, and Julian arrived to see Lucas, who was resting. Bobbie explained that Lucas was exhausted and needed sleep. Carly took Wiley so Brad could spend time with Lucas. During the celebration, Julian arrived, and Carly clarified the absence of others like Leo and Wiley. Bobbie and Carly encouraged civil behavior for Brad and Lucas's sake. Later at Sunny and Carly's house, Lucas's memories from the accident resurfaced, causing frustration. Family members, including Michael, Sasha, Carly, Bobbie, and Julian, supporting him. Lucas eventually decided to have Wiley go home with Michael, emphasizing his love and trust in the family. At the Corinthos kitchen, the family reflected on the accident and its fallout. Bobbie expressed anger at Brad's selfishness, while Lucas admitted he couldn't hate him. Carly reassured everyone that Wiley had a loving home and that no one expected Lucas to stop loving him. The family comforted each other and planned to face the aftermath together, with Lucas and Carly preparing Wiley for bedtime and eventually sending him home with Michael, expressing love and gratitude.
In the hospital, Bobbie, Carly, Willow, Michael, and Sasha wait nervously as Wiley undergoes heart surgery. Sasha is grateful that Nell finally consented to the operation, but puzzled about her change of heart. The tension heightens when Elizabeth arrives, pushing Nell in a wheelchair. Nell accuses Carly of pushing her off the hospital roof, claiming attempted murder. Chase walks in as Nell tells her story, and Elizabeth confirms finding Nell there, but admits the door should have been locked. After Elizabeth leaves, Nell and Carly argue until Bobbie reappears with Wiley's file, only to discover the written consent form missing. Nell seizes on this, threatening legal action and predicting she'll gain full custody. Monica soon reports the surgery was successful, though Wiley's condition had been worse than expected, and he'll need another operation in 6 months. I don't remember that happening either. Did he have another operation in 6 months?
I mean, that would make sense.
Poor Wiley. I don't remember. Nell rages, calling the surgery illegal and demanding Carly's arrest. Michael reminds her she'll be questioned by the police herself. Nell insists Monica record that only her consent can authorize further procedures. Carly leaves to check on Sunny and Mike, while Bobbie and Monica privately celebrate saving Wiley. Bobbie flashes back to earlier. She had shredded the consent form herself. Monica commends Bobbie's protective instincts, and the two women share a fist bump. Later, Diane informs Michael that Nell has filed a massive malpractice suit against General Hospital, naming Monica and Bobbie as defendants and claiming the consent was forged or lost. Diane believes Nell is using the lawsuit as leverage in her custody fight, but Michael vows not to compromise. At the Metro Court, Nell confronts Carly, claiming Michael verbally attacked her. Carly remains unmoved, saying she doesn't care. Nell threatens that Carly will lose both her grandchild and Bobbie's career, but Carly coolly replies, "They'll see." Nell's demand to know if Carly thinks Michael will win, and Carly says she has a good feeling. Soon after, Sunny arrives at the hospital and learns from Deanna that Monica and Bobbie have been fired. Cyrus Renault's doing. Across the room, Molly, TJ, and Cyrus have a confrontation. TJ angrily defends Monica and Bobbie, listing their service and compassion, but Cyrus insists their firing was necessary due to the lawsuit risk. Cyrus extends his hand to TJ, who replies not to hold his breath, and storms off. At the MetroCorp bar, Carly urges Bobbie to sue the hospital for wrongful termination, but Bobbie refuses to damage the institution further and blames Cyrus. Carly snaps that Cyrus had help just as Valentine strolls in. Bobbie derides him, and both women glare and snipe at him, with Brick showing up to back them. I love Brick. After the tension peaks, Bobbie leaves to meet Scott for dinner. At the Floating Rib, Bobbie vents to Scott about being fired and losing purpose. He barely listens, focused on cracking nuts. Bobbie wistfully jokes that maybe she'll go back to selling the girlfriend experience. Scott perks up only when talking about a potential payout from the hospital. Bobbie wants her job back, not just under Cyrus. Scott suggests a telemedicine gig, then bolts after a message about a client emergency. I don't like that Scott was like, oh yeah, let's get some money from the hospital back to like his ambulance chasing time, because even though that's where he may have been financially, that's not how he normally was with Bobbie. Like, he would have listened to her griping about losing her job, not just saw it as a payday. At home, Carly and Bobbie celebrate Jocelyn's 18th birthday. Jocelyn plans to meet Trina at Ava's gallery and brushes off voting as unimportant. Shocked, Carly and Bobbie lecture her on her... I was thinking for a minute, sorry to interrupt myself, but I was thinking for a minute that the baby that Carly just had was Joss, and I was like, wait, how are we on her 18th birthday already? No, that was Donna that she just had. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Jocelyn plans to meet, At home, Carly and Bobbie celebrate Jocelyn's 18th birthday. Jocelyn plans to meet Trina at Ava's gallery and brushes off voting as unimportant. Shocked, Carly and Bobbie lecture her on her suffrage ancestor, Beatrice Eckerd, who fought for women's voting rights. Carly fetches her voter information as Bobbie reminds Jocelyn of her legacy. Jocelyn relents and promises to vote. Later, Carly and Bobbie proudly see her leaving the polling place. Trina and Ava exchange affirmation about women's strength, closing the day on a hopeful note. And that was the day that they had done that whole, back in the day. Yeah, she...
Well, explain the suffrage movement.
Jocelyn was her ancestor, and so it played out of all of the big deal about having voting rights and all that they went through. That was a good episode. I like whenever they bring a little bit of history into it. Yep. And then we're into 2021. Carly welcomes Bobbie with news about their secret. Florence Gray is safe in a hidden location under Bobbie's care. Carly then reveals that Nell was Nina's daughter because Avery had the other half of the necklace that proves it. Ugh, I hated that whole necklace thing. It was like Annie all over again. Our necklaces match, so we're related. No. Carly plans to replace it with a duplicate so Nina won't discover the truth. They visit Windermere to swap it when tensions flare between Carly, Nicholas, and Ava over Avery's custody. Bobbie tries to mediate, but the meeting erupts in accusations. Carly attacking Ava's past and Nicholas defending his home. Ava orders Carly and Bobbie to leave. Later, Carly and Bobbie visit Jack's, where Nina tries to reassure Bobbie she isn't jealous. Bobbie insists Carly respects the relationship. Elsewhere, Jackie suggests a reunion with old friends and learns Bobbie's taken a private nursing job in Vermont after Cyrus's firing. Jackie tracks her down and suspects Bobbie is caring for Florence Gray. In Vermont, Bobbie reads to Florence, who reminisces about her sons. Jackie and Martin follow clues, discovering pill bottles bearing Bobbie's name that confirm Florence's location. Jason monitors events from outside. Jackie and Martin go inside, reuniting Martin with Florence, who tenderly chastises Cyrus as a lost soul. Jackie records Florence's story while Bobbie and Jason debate whether they'll have to surrender Florence now that she's been found. Eventually, Carly orders her guards to return Florence and make sure Bobbie hands over the medicine. Nicholas tells Carly she did the right thing, but Carly calls him naive and lashes out at him and Ava. Laura sides with Carly, warning Nicholas that he made a serious mistake as she walks away. At General Hospital, Brooklyn arrives and quickly spots Peter talking to Maxie. Maxie firmly told Peter she didn't want him in the exam room. Peter and Chloe left to talk elsewhere. Before Maxie and Brooklyn could speak, Deanna pulled Maxie into an exam room where Maxie inquired if Deanna did private nursing. Deanna declined, explaining her schedule was too busy. After Deanna left, Brooklyn hurried in to see Maxie. Maxie handed her the key, and they reviewed their plan. Brooklyn would leave town first to set things up, and Maxie would follow later. Maxie insisted they didn't need Bobbie's help delivering the baby, though Brooklyn reluctantly accepted. After ensuring no one was watching, Brooklyn left. Maxie then spoke to her unborn child, apologizing for the unorthodox delivery, and Dr. Navarro confirmed that everything was proceeding on schedule. And that was obviously planning the baby swap to protect her baby from Peter. At Maxie's apartment in Port Charles, she spoke to the baby about needing to stay away from her father. Peter knocked and said that he wanted to say goodbye. Maxie told him that she had been packing for a spa trip and that Chloe had the day off. Peter intended to stay until Chloe returned, but Bobbie arrived and insisted Peter leave, assuring Maxie would stay instead. Bobbie asked Maxie about the urgency of her baby moon. Maxie revealed that she wanted Bobbie to deliver her baby to keep her safe from Peter and detailed her plan to secrecy to go to Beecher's Corner, including leaving Chloe behind. Bobbie agreed to help and assured Maxie she would not judge her. They shared an emotional moment reflecting on past losses, including BJ, whose legacy connected them. Maxie expressed hope that Sean had aligned the stars for her plan. Alone, Maxie felt relieved she hadn't told Spinelli everything. She packed, confirmed arrangements with Bobbie in Beecher's Corner, checked on her spa trip, and contacted Brooklyn via burner phone to finalize their plan. Maxie reassured her unborn child that everything would be okay. Chloe arrived with a wheelchair due to Maxie's high blood pressure. Maxie reluctantly accepted. Bobbie came in to support Maxie, bringing frozen vegetables to relieve her discomfort, which she reflected on the loss of Louise and tried to stay positive. At the hospital board meeting, a board member introduced Monica as the new chairperson following Leslie's recommendation. The board unanimously approved her, and Monica received applause. She promised to honor the hospital's past while leading it forward. Monica immediately reversed some of Cyrus's previous decisions, reinstating Bobbie and Epiphany. Finn expressed relief, and Monica allowed him to tend to Chase. At the Corinthos house, Jocelyn celebrated her graduation with her family. Bobbie joked about the cheers, and Jocelyn appreciated Jason's presence. They were joking about how they were like the loudest family at the graduation. Afterwards, Carly announced to Bobbie, Jax, and Michael that she and Jason planned to marry, explaining they needed each other after Sunny's death. Michael and Bobbie congratulated her, agreeing Sunny would have approved. Jax expressed support and left to allow Carly to tell Jocelyn herself. Later, Bobbie and Jason met at Carly's house, and she congratulated him before leaving. Meanwhile, at the Savoy, Britt reflected on past conversations with Jason. She noticed a group of women, Amy, Epiphany, Elizabeth, Deanna, and Bobbie, assembling tables and joined them awkwardly. They discussed authority at the hospital, Britt's heroics involving Jason, and Carly and Jason's upcoming wedding. Bobbie noted Carly and Jason's loyalty despite challenges, and the women debated Britt's role and change. A bartender delivered a tray of shots courtesy of Britt, surprising the women. They toasted to the hospital and downed the drinks while Britt quietly left, taking a final somber look at the table. Bobbie reflected on Carly and Jason's long history, recalling how close they had been even when Michael was a baby. She admired their bond, and described it as magical, believing Jason would do anything for Carly. Carly admitted that she had once done everything she could to marry Jason, but had never fully understood his devotion, though she considered herself lucky. Yeah, that was like Britt's whole issue with everything, is that Jason would do anything for Carly, but Carly doesn't do anything for Jason all the time.
Right.
At the Corinthos mansion, Jason became concerned when Jocelyn reported that Carly had been missing for 15 to 20 minutes during the wedding preparations. Jason calmly began searching for her while Jocelyn called Carly, reaching her voicemail. Jason later learned from the guards that Carly had left in her car for a quick errand. Jocelyn was puzzled because everything was already arranged, including Carly's wedding dress, and she didn't understand why her mother hadn't notified anyone. Jason called Spinelli for help while Jocelyn checked in with Bobbie. In the bridal suite, Carly reflected in the mirror while Bobbie complimented her. Bobbie inquired about Carly's brief disappearance, and Carly explained that she had been feeling nostalgic but had spoken with Jason. Jocelyn arrived with Carly's bouquet, and soon after, Maxie came to get them ready for the ceremony. At the wedding, Maxie announced that guests should be seated. Jocelyn walked down the aisle first, followed by Carly, who joined Jason at the altar. The priest noted their long friendship, and Jocelyn read a Native American wedding blessing. During the vows, Jason spoke about their trust and connection, and Carly shared how their bond had began and her excitement for the future. They lit a candle to honor absent loved ones. Maxie then received a surprising phone call from Jax. At the reception, Bobbie, Olivia, and Monica praised Maxie's efforts. Spinelli ended a call and explained to Diane that there had been a nearby explosion, possibly a car bomb targeting Vincent and Mr. Buscema. Brando confirmed that Gladys had not been involved. Olivia confronted Austin about comments regarding Leo, while Ned tried to mediate. Cameron joked with Jocelyn, Trina, and Bobbie about Brando stripping at Carly's bachelorette party. Carly reunited with Bobbie and Jocelyn, and Bobbie observed Jason looking as though he needed help. Tensions around Leo continued between Olivia and Ned. Oh, that was funny with Brando being part of the stripper that showed up. I forgot about that. Meanwhile, at Charlie's, Chase investigated Brooklyn's childbirth story and requested her Easy Pass records. Bobbie, exhausted from a double hospital shift, ordered coffee and ended up discussing Beecher's Corner with Chase, revealing that she had been there with Maxie to help deliver a baby secretly, only for the baby to be taken. She left abruptly, leaving Chase puzzled. Carly expressed surprise that Sonny considered Nina a friend, prompting a brief clarification. Bobbie arrived and sensed tension between Carly and Sonny, but was reassured that Jason was not involved. Bobbie remarked on the difficulty of feeling like a third person in a marriage. At the hospital, Bobbie confronted Valentine, warning him to stay away from Peter. She suspected something troubling had occurred between Victor and Peter and refused to provide details, prompting Alexis to step in. Valentine tried to convince Alexis to help him access Peter, but ultimately respected Bobbie's authority. Alexis shared her struggles with sobriety and her need for direction, and Valentine offered support.
Was this when they played Who's the Worst Cassadine? Is this when they played the card game? That was
fun. They should make that a card game. Like instead of like telephone or there's other like love story cards that we had back in the day, we're just going to make one Who's the Worst Cassadine. Laura received a text from Bobbie and informed Tracy about Bobbie's visit. Tracy felt unable to face Bobbie emotionally, and Laura offered reassurance. Laura reflected on her past with Luke, including what had been their 40th wedding anniversary, and worried about telling Lulu. When Bobbie arrived, she immediately sensed something was wrong. Laura confirmed that Luke had died in a cable car accident in Australia. Bobbie was devastated and refused to accept it as an accident, suspecting foul play. At Sonny's penthouse, Carly joined him while he cooked. Their conversation was subdued as Carly was preoccupied with Luke's death. Sonny suggested Carly visit Donna and Avery to give herself a break. Later at Kelly's, Bobbie thanked Carly for attending Luke's memorial service. Carly shared fond memories of Luke and reflected on Bobbie's resilience in Port Charles. Carly expressed doubts about her marriage, noting that Sonny had changed during his absence and worried that he may no longer prioritize her and their family despite his promises. At Charlie's, Sonny told Dante that he was no longer going to waste time trying to fix things with Carly, though Dante urged him to give her space and prove that his relationship with Nina was over. When they arrived at Dock 54, Sonny opted to wait for Carly before boarding the Haunted Star. Carly and Bobbie...
Dock 54? Pier 54.
Where am I? Sunny opted to wait for Carly before boarding the Haunted Star. Carly and Bobbie arrived shortly after, and Carly told Bobbie to go inside while she stayed behind. Bobbie gave Sunny an icy look as she passed, and Sunny tried to escort Carly aboard, but Carly noticed Sunny's bruised hand and asked what had happened. Sunny mentioned that it was Luke's doing, but assured Carly that he was fine. He also told her that he and Scott had teamed up to take down Victor at the memorial. Bobbie suggested Carly join her for a sleepover with the kids, but Carly declined. Bobbie left the scene noticing Scott's bruises and sarcastically asked what had happened to him. He quipped, "I caught the bouquet." And that was Sunny and Scott had got into it over Luke.
Mm-hmm.
On the deck of the ship, Carly asked if Luke was there, but was interrupted when Sunny joined her, offering a comforting smile. Later, Carly enjoyed some quiet time at a yoga studio, but it was interrupted by Ava, who heard Carly was staying at the hotel. The conversation quickly turned tense when Carly mentioned that Avery and Donna were with Bobbie. Ava questioned why Carly didn't send Avery to her house instead, leading to an argument over Carly's rights to make decisions for her daughter. Ava accused Carly of not being Ava's real mother, while Carly countered by reminding Ava that she had once asked Carly to take care of Avery. Brooklyn, who had just arrived, tried to defuse the situation, but Carly and Ava continued to clash. Carly defended Bobbie's right to have Avery for the night, and Ava reluctantly admitted that she had overreacted, but insisted she didn't want Avery caught up in Sunny and Carly's drama. The tension escalated when Ava subtly warned Carly that if things fell apart with Sunny, Sunny would have someone else, namely Nina. Brooklyn immediately jumped to Carly's defense, and Carly advised Ava to consult Diane as she had issues with their custody agreement. Later at the hospital, Carly asked if her DNA test results were in, but the nurse said that they weren't ready yet. Bobbie approached, and Carly assured her mother that the test was just a precaution. They briefly discussed the upcoming hearing and what would happen if the judge ruled in favor of Nina, with Carly vowing to protect her family. Afterwards, Carly and Bobbie arrived at the Savoy, where they spotted Sunny and Nina sitting together. Bobbie suggested Carly leave to avoid the tension, but Carly insisted on staying. She was interrupted when Sunny approached, concerned about her health. Carly brushed it off, telling him that her life was no longer his concern. Meanwhile, Carly confronted Nina and asked her to call off the petition. The exchange turned hostile as Bobbie and Nina traded barbs when Bobbie threw her drink in Nina's face when Nina insulted her. Sunny and Carly rushed to separate them, but Carly later shared a light moment with Bobbie, agreeing that Nina deserved far worse. In another scene, Scott shows Laura photos of signatures, and one in particular caught her eye. Bobbie's signature. Laura confronts Bobbie, who admits she had signed a petition to save the whales, not to remove Laura as mayor. Bobbie realizes it had been a bait and switch. Despite their rocky past, Bobbie reassures Laura that she would never do something like that to her, and they reconcile, with Bobbie promising to always have Laura's back. Later at the nail salon, the women, Anna, Felicia, and Bobbie, discuss the upcoming softball game while Lucy and Liesl arrive. Tensions quickly flared when Lucy and Bobbie exchanged pointed remarks about previous year's games, with Bobbie accusing Lucy of cheating. The argument turns personal, and Bobbie advises Liesl to be cautious about Lucy. Just then, Scott entered, and Liesl, in her typical bold style, declared that if Scott didn't appreciate her, he could lick Mick before catching herself in front of everyone.
No tears.
You got that.
In the Metro Court Gardens, where Carly was in high spirits and confidently declared that Michael and Drew were securing the family's future. If you are listening to this in January of 2026, you will understand the giggles. She believed Valentine would soon be voted out and Drew and Michael would become co-CEOs. The women discussed Carly's investment, and Carly expressed pride and optimism about Michael and Drew working together. Their conversation shifted to a hearing and Scott's attack on Michael. Carly compared Michael to Jason and Drew, while Jocelyn noted that Drew was more emotionally accessible than Jason had been. Bobbie reflected on her own past and her early relationship with Carly, hoping that Jocelyn would learn from their experiences. Jocelyn mentioned the ongoing Title IX situation involving Trina. When Carly received a call from her broker, she ignored it, insisting the good news could wait. After Bobbie left, Carly and Jocelyn continued talking. Carly said that she felt she was exactly where she was meant to be in life, and Jocelyn thanked Carly for being her role model and giving her the strength to hold her head high after the video scandal. Valentine approached their table and in an unusually pleasant mood and asked Carly to reserve a table for that evening with specific food and drinks, leaving Carly and Jocelyn confused by his behavior. Later, Carly was thinking about her last conversation with Drew when Bobbie returned home. They talked about Avery and Ava, and Carly explained that she did not feel ready to attend leadership seminar in Aruba. Bobbie suspected Carly was using Ava as an excuse, but Carly admitted her life felt too complicated. She confessed that she had feelings for Drew, Jason's brother. Bobbie pointed out that everyone already knew, but Carly worried that getting involved with Drew could be a mistake. Yup, and that she might lose another important friendship. Bobbie suggested that Carly was afraid Drew might not forgive her as easily as Jason had. Carly briefly reflected on the DNA test she had run on Nina and Willow and said she did not want to lean on Drew as a way to escape her problems. Bobbie reminded her that people cannot help who they fall for. Yes, you can.
Right?
You absolutely can.
Like, we probably shouldn't date brothers. That's a little complicated.
Yeah. When Carly received a text from Jocelyn saying Ava would be fine, Bobbie encouraged Carly to attend the seminar after all. Carly thought that she was finally being sensible, but Bobbie observed that Carly usually acted on impulse and was now searching for a reason not to leave. Bobbie believed Carly would find happiness in a new career and new relationship. After Bobbie left, Carly quietly looked at the seminar pamphlet on her refrigerator. In Jacksonville, Bobbie surprised Carly with a visit at the hotel cafeteria. And that's the thing. She was lying. Carly was lying about this leadership seminar. What she was really doing was going to see Virginia, not Virginia.
The grave.
Yes, but she also saw the woman who she had supposedly had the affair with. Remember, it was Reese's mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, it was Linda. She was played by Linda Pearl. I can tell you that. But what the heck was her name? Well, they held hands and shared how grateful they were for their close bond because the grave was supposed to be being moved because the area was getting flooded or something, and they were trying to move the graveyard.
And freeway.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Where did I get flooded?
I don't know.
In real life? Actually, hold it. I think that's something that actually happened in real life. Sorry.
This one, they wanted to put a freeway in, and Carly didn't want to move. Yeah, Carly didn't want her mother's resting place moved for the freeway.
And one of the women that was really behind it being moved was Reese's mom. Right.
And that was like Reese's mom hated Carly, so she had no problem messing with her that way. I cannot remember what her name was, though. I'm with you there.
Oh, gosh. Such a prissy Peyton Honeycutt.
Ah, there you go.
But she was Peyton Roberts as Carly was growing up. Carly told Bobbie that she finally accepted that Reese's fatal accident was not her fault and that Drew had helped her find closure. She spoke warmly about Drew, but insisted that they were only friends. After Bobbie left, Carly confronted Peyton and learned, again, if we had just read ahead, 2 lines. Peyton and learned that the guild had voted against rerouting the beach parkway, meaning Virginia's remains would have to be moved. At his hotel, Drew was surprised when Bobbie arrived, explaining that she had come to support Carly and felt that her daughter was more stressed than she admitted. Bobbie believed that Drew could help Carly sort through it. Drew said that Carly had done a great deal for him and that he was in Jacksonville to support her. Bobbie was relieved that Drew was in Carly's life. After Bobbie left, Drew received confirmation of the guild's vote. Later, Carly sat alone in the bar with a glass of wine, apologizing aloud to her mother for not doing enough. Her biological mother. No, sorry, her adoptive mother. Adoptive mother, Bobbie is biological. Sorry. Drew joined her and comforted her as she explained what Peyton had said. Carly admitted that she had wanted Peyton's approval and had always longed for a beautiful, loving mother. She confessed that she had not appreciated her own mother, Virginia, and hoped to make amends too late. Drew suggested, we just went over this. Carly was not trying to make amends too late. She waited until after she died.
Right.
That is too late. Drew suggested that they go to the beach with beers to honor Virginia, who believed problems could be solved there. Back at Carly's mansion, Bobbie told Carly she was excited for the next chapter of her life. Carly said her trip to Florida had forced her into an identity crisis and that she no longer wanted to carry the Corinthos name. She asked to take Bobbie's family name instead. Bobbie agreed it was fitting for Carly to become a Spencer, and the two embraced. In 2023, Michael anxiously awaited news about Willow while expressing his excitement about meeting his newborn daughter. He checked his phone repeatedly, but there were no updates from Dr. Navarro. Carly reassured him while Jocelyn pressed to know the baby's name. Michael admitted that he and Willow had been calling the baby Walnut since the first sonogram. Bobbie soon returned with a sterile gown and led Michael to meet his daughter. Michael held the baby with joy, vowing to protect her and promising that her mother would meet her soon. Carly and Jocelyn watched from the hallway, and Jocelyn snapped a photo. Soon after, Carly received a call from Sunny, who said the doctors had been looking for Michael. Bobbie later assured Carly that Willow would receive the best care possible. Jocelyn tearfully insisted that Michael could not lose Willow, and the three women embraced. When Carly considered checking in on Michael, Jocelyn reminded her that Sunny and Nina would be there and that Michael had asked Carly to stay with the baby. Bobbie then brought Carly and Jocelyn gowns so they could visit the newborn. Carly, Jocelyn, and Bobbie stood around the bassinet. Carly smiled at the sight of 4 generations of Spencer women together. Jocelyn told the baby she was lucky to be born into such a strong sisterhood, and Carly quietly hoped the baby would possess the gift that could save Willow. At Charlie's pub, Bobbie mentioned to Felicia and Maxie that the hospital's upcoming 60th anniversary had no planned celebration. Maxie was appalled and insisted the town needed something uplifting. She decided to organize the biggest nurses' ball ever. After Felicia left, Maxie outlined potential sponsors and assumed Ned could cover the remaining costs. Bobbie cautioned that the hospital board would need convincing, but Maxie confidently named supporters and announced Bobbie as her co-chair. Though hesitant, Bobbie eventually agreed, determined to honor Lucy's legacy without embarrassing mishaps. And this is when we thought Lucy was dead.
Right, because Anna and them
This is
had
when we thought
kidnapped
that
her.
she had been, yes. Meanwhile, Felicia delivered supplies to Anna, Valentine, and Lucy at the safe house. She updated them on Maxie's plans for the nurses' ball. Lucy was furious that it was happening without her, and even more upset to learn that Bobbie was co-chair. She stormed off while Anna believed the inconvenience would be worth it. Later, Bobbie told Jocelyn about the nurses' ball and her future musical performances, and her idea to feature musical performances, including Cameron. Jocelyn doubted Cameron would participate due to their breakup. Maybe not with you, Joss, but he could do it on his own. This isn't the Jocelyn Jack's charity or is awesome ball. This is the nurses' ball. His mother is a nurse.
Right.
Bobbie reflected on how many people Port Charles had recently lost, including Britt, Anna, Lucy, and Valentine. Jocelyn mentioned Luke, and Bobbie admitted she still could not fully accept his death. She insisted that Luke would never have allowed his family to grieve him for so long, and declared with certainty that his death was no random accident and that someone somewhere was responsible. The storyline begins at the mansion where Bobbie, Maxie, and Brooklyn meet to discuss the plans for the nurses' ball. Their conversation turns tense when Carly arrives and overhears them arguing about the venue. Bobbie explains the ball needs a new home, and Maxie worries it might not happen if they can't secure one. Carly notes that hosting them at the Metro Court would require Nina's approval as co-owner. Carly admits she wishes they could avoid Nina entirely, but Nina immediately appears and confronts her. Although Carly suggests Nina's animosity could threaten the event, Nina dismisses the idea and confirms that the Metro Court will host the nurses' ball. She then asks to speak privately with Carly, sending Bobbie and Maxie away. At the Metro Court, Lucy, disguised and in hiding, overhears Bobbie and Maxie congratulating themselves on their planning. Lucy becomes furious when they imply they have done a better job than she ever did and dismisses her past contributions. Maxie is called away to deception. Nearby, Victor meets with Spencer, who asks for help securing custody of Esme's baby since Esme plans to raise the child in prison. Victor agrees to help. Bobbie interrupts them, angrily accusing Victor of having killed Luke and urging Spencer to believe it, saying Laura knows the truth as well. Spencer expresses sympathy for Bobbie's loss, but says that he has chosen to give Victor the benefit of the doubt. After Bobbie leaves, Spencer reiterates that he will support Victor if Victor helps him with the baby. Later, Maxie takes a call and rejoins Bobbie, Sasha, and Brooklyn as they praise Brooklyn for lining up performers. They debate performance order and the best way to open the show. Chase arrives for rehearsal, explaining that Blaze is absent. Sasha notices tension between Brooklyn and Chase, prompting Brooklyn to recall how she hurt Chase by telling him about her deal with Link, admitting that she blew it. Maxie secretly manages Lucy by phone, insisting that they communicate only by text, but Lucy finds a way to listen through Maxie's earbud. When the group debates who should serve as the mistress of ceremony, Lucy is horrified at the suggestion that Bobbie take the role and loudly protests Maxie's ear. Maxie snaps aloud, startling everyone, then explains she is hearing an annoying voice in her head. Ultimately, Bobbie agrees to host, joking that seeing her on stage might bring Lucy back from the grave. Maxie finally disconnects Lucy, despite Lucy's continued objections. As planning continues, Maxie, Bobbie, and Sasha reaffirm that the ball will honor the hospital's 60th anniversary. Meanwhile, Lucy, watching from the safe house, decides the nurses' ball still needs her. At the hospital, Spinelli stands at the memorial wall until Sam joins him, and they quietly share their grief. Elizabeth carries roses to the chapel as Bobbie comforts a grieving Deanna. Oh, this was Epiphany.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bobbie then approaches Willow, who insists on attending Epiphany's memorial despite her upcoming transplant. Willow reflects on Epiphany's support of her nursing dreams and resolves to light a candle in her honor, and Carly and Bobbie at her side. Stage at the nurses' ball, Bobbie and Maxie announce the event is about to begin. Maxie ignores another call from Lucy, and they walk the red carpet in matching dresses, crediting Lucy as their inspiration. Lucy watches from afar, emotional but skeptical of claims that it will be the best ball ever. As festivities continue, Bobbie again complains about Nina when she sees her with Sunny, while Carly hints smugly at a promising romantic development. Backstage, Maxie manages last-minute details and brushes off Nina, who teasingly tells her to break a leg. Bobbie and Maxie open the 2023 Nurses Ball on stage, reminding the audience of its mission to fight AIDS and HIV, and teasing surprises for the anniversary celebration. Backstage, Maxie panics when she realizes a chainsaw prop is missing. On stage, Jocelyn and Trina perform the middle to applause. Elizabeth and Portia praise Trina, and Portia expresses hope of repairing their strained relationship. Again, if you are listening to this at the beginning of January 2026, we are back there. And again, it is over lying about possible paternity.
Right.
Afterward, Link approaches Jocelyn and praises her talent, suggesting he could make her a star. Jocelyn politely declines, but Link touches her arm as he persists, which Brooklyn witnesses with alarm. Elsewhere, Mac, Felicia, and Bobbie celebrate Maxie's success, and Mac later speaks with Jordan, who confirms that Eileen was murdered and advises Mac to investigate Victor. And that was Eileen. Oh, I know her last name, but that was the deputy mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Ashby. Wasn't it Ashby?
That sounds right.
Sunny meets privately with Bobbie and announces plans to create a nursing scholarship in Epiphany's name that no one has ever received, also donating generously to the Nurses' Ball in Stone's honor. Bobbie is moved and believes Stone would be proud. Carly then takes stage to honor Bobbie's 45 years at the hospital. A montage highlights Bobbie's most meaningful moments, earning her a standing ovation. You know why? It's because we knew that Jackie wasn't looking okay.
Right.
And we didn't know because they didn't tell us, which is fine. You don't owe anyone explanations on your health.
Right.
Bobbie begins a tribute to Lucy, bluntly recalling their long history of conflict. Watching backstage, Lucy grows increasingly enraged by Bobbie's remarks. Unable to contain herself, Lucy storms the stage and bursts through the mural of her own face, revealing that she is alive. The stunned audience erupts in applause as Bobbie welcomes Lucy home, and Lucy beams under the ovation. At the gatehouse, Carly entered the living room wearing a blue floral sundress and smiled when she saw Michael and Willow on the sofa looking in love. Michael chuckled, agreeing that they were indeed in love. Jocelyn soon arrived, and after exchanging greetings and hugs, there was a knock at the door. Maxie stood outside, flanked by Chase and Dante. She explained that there had been a last-minute cancellation for hair and makeup artists, but that Brooklyn and Sasha were fetching what was needed from Deception. Michael decided to leave to fetch his suit and the kids so Willow could get ready, but Willow asked him to leave Amelia, who was napping. Later, Jocelyn re-entered the living room wearing a light floral dress. The ladies watched Willow finish her makeup, complimenting how beautiful she looked. Maxie's mood shifted when Willow revealed a change in the guest list, but she perked up when Willow shared that Drew had gotten a lead on Victor. Maxie hoped that Drew would bring Liesl home soon. Willow mentioned that she would receive a transplant once that happened, which Sasha considered the best wedding gift. Oh, that's what they were doing, was the surprise wedding. Like they were helping Michael and Willow. Carly admitted that she was worried about Drew. Maxie asked who would walk Willow down the aisle, and Willow shared that Carly had agreed to step in for Drew. After Carly sent Maxie, Brooklyn, and Sasha, by the way, guys, Drew and Willow just got married. So there's that. After Carly sent Maxie, Brooklyn, and Sasha to the main house to handle preparations, Carly and Jocelyn shared their excitement about welcoming Willow to the family. Bobbie and Donna then arrived, and Bobbie presented Willow with a special family tradition, something old, something borrowed, and something blue. There was nothing new? Bobbie gave Willow a bracelet from Luke. Oh, she better have given that back.
Mm-hmm.
A hair comb from Carly, which Jocelyn would one day wear. So again, that better have gone back also. And sapphire earrings from Jocelyn. Overcome with emotion, Willow felt like a part of the Spencer family. After Willow fetched Amelia, the group took a family photo, and Carly promised they would never let Willow go. At the Quartermain Mansion, Chase gave Michael a bottle as a gift from Ned, but Michael wanted to wait for Ned to join them. Chase explained that Ned was helping Olivia in the kitchen. Dante poured drinks, and the three toasts to Michael and Willow's happiness. Later, Dante presented Michael with a special gift, a set of cufflinks that once belonged to their grandfather, Mike. Dante explained how much it meant that Michael had invited Sonny to the wedding and expressed hope that Michael and Sonny could repair their relationship. Michael, however, remained silent. And this is when they weren't talking because Sonny was still married to Nina.
Yep.
Sonny entered with his daughter Avery, and the family exchanged pleasantries. Maxie, Brooklyn, and Sasha returned from the gatehouse, and Avery asked about her sister Donna. Sasha asked her to take her to the gatehouse. Maxie also received a text about a missing centerpiece and asked Brooklyn for help. Dante continued to check with Michael, noticing he seemed troubled, and Michael admitted that he hoped Liesl would be found in time. In the foyer, Brooklyn accidentally ran into Chase. She explained that she had been dealing with the missing centerpiece but left quickly when Chase asked about her departure after the review board hearing. Chase shared a tender moment with Michael, encouraging him not to lose faith and reminding him that Willow deserved to have good luck on her side. Chase has also just now recently thrown away his career for Willow.
Yep.
So throwing that out there. At the gatehouse, Bobbie, Carly, and Jocelyn admired how beautiful Avery and Donna looked, and Carly asked them to take the girls to the main house. Molly and TJ arrived, and Christina encouraged a family photo. After some persuasion, a reluctant Michael joined the photo with his family. Molly teared up as they took the picture, and Christina asked to include Jocelyn in the photo, but Jocelyn declined, leading to a cool response from Christina. At the hospital, Portia invited Elizabeth out for drinks, but Elizabeth revealed that she had been helping Bobbie with her duties. They both hoped a replacement for Epiphany's position as head nurse would be found soon. Terry and Finn arrived, and Terry shared that the board had voted to offer Liz the position of head nurse, which Elizabeth was surprised but pleased to hear. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Good.
Monica called her. No, because Monica called her and congratulated her.
Yes.
At Kelly's diner, Carly shared with Jocelyn that Bobbie had sold her the diner for just $1, which is common in families. So
yes,
throwing that out there, well, at least in Pennsylvania, I see it all the time. Carly planned to make Kelly's bigger and better than ever family institution she was eager to revitalize. Later, Carly received a call from Bobbie assuring her that everything was under control at Kelly's, even though there were a few problems with deliveries. Carly's conversation was interrupted when Nina arrived and asked about Carly's new role. Carly confirmed that she now owned Kelly's, but Nina's response was lukewarm. Meanwhile, at the Quartermain mansion, Yuri helped Tracy with her luggage as she prepared to leave for Amsterdam with Bobbie to settle Luke's affairs. Olivia expressed sympathy, acknowledging the house would feel emptier without Tracy, Bobbie, and Monica. Carly later mentioned to Jocelyn that Bobbie was struggling to finalize Luke's affairs and that Tracy was driving Bobbie crazy. Later, Carly and Donna exchanged Christmas wishes with Bobbie over the phone, and Jocelyn entered with Bex and Adam. Carly welcomed Adam, and he was glad that they could join him for Christmas Eve. At the hospital, Carly and Laura discussed the party while Sonny appeared, and Laura thanked him for funding everything. Carly reassured her that Bobbie was making progress with Luke's affairs. Nina arrived late to the party, confessing to Sonny that she had left church with a new understanding. Sonny's phone rang, revealing a break-in at Windermere, so he and Laura left to help Ava, suspecting it might be related to Nicholas. Carly and Nina had a tense exchange where Nina tried to ask for Carly's forgiveness for her actions regarding Nell's death and the revenge that she took. Carly, however, refused Nina's apology, stating she had already given enough and would not offer Nina redemption. Carly walked away, eager to enjoy the remainder of Christmas Eve with her family.
Good job.
Was Luke's state ever settled? I know Tracy came back.
So Tracy came back for Christmas that year because she didn't want to miss Christmas, and Bobbie obviously did not come back. So I'm assuming that it got together at whatever point. I don't know if they ever said that Bobbie got it done or not.
Okay.
All right.
Now I'm just going to sit here and cry. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. All right. So the year of 2024 opens with Scott and Lucy noticing Laura's shock and sadness while on the phone at the bar. They approach her as she ends the call, and Laura, with tear-filled eyes, shares the devastating news that Bobbie has passed away. Scott and Lucy, stunned by the news, sit down with Laura as she explains that Lucas had called to ask for Lucky's phone number and that Carly had not yet informed the children. Both Scott and Lucy promise not to tell anyone, Lucy tearfully recalling Bobbie's kindness after BJ's death, and Laura acknowledging their initial differences, share their love for Bobbie. Laura describes Bobbie as the sister to her, while Scott admits his own enduring love for Bobbie. They reflect on the deep bond they shared with Bobbie, which transcends worlds. Together, they raise their glasses in a toast to Bobbie, honoring her memory. And that was really sweet. Like, they sat around the table and talked about, and I loved that Lucy talked about how kind she was around BJ's death because Lucy had been close to BJ also.
Right.
Nina arrives to speak with Carly and confesses that she was the one who reported Carly and Drew's insider trading to the SEC. This line is like going to make me sneeze again. I don't know why. I have some secrets with the SEC. Okay. Carly, furious, confronts Nina before Drew returns. Carly, emotionally exhausted, tells Drew of Nina's actions, and they argue before Carly demands Nina leave. Carly breaks down in Drew's arms, lamenting that Nina exists in a world where Bobbie no longer does. Carly then shares the heartbreaking news of Bobbie passing with her children, Jocelyn and Michael. They comfort her, unsure of what life will look like without Bobbie, but Carly reassures them that they will get through it together. At the hospital, Felicia stands in front of the memorial wall, overwhelmed with grief. She and Anna reminisce about Bobbie, with Anna commenting on how loved Bobbie was. Felicia finds an old nursing badge and other mementos, recalling the early days when Bobbie had worked at the hospital. They share a bittersweet laugh, remembering Bobbie's signature red hair. Felicia is struck by the finality of never being able to work with Bobbie again, and the two friends embrace in shared sorrow. Felicia reflects on Bobbie's wisdom, recalling her words about grief being more bearable when helping others. As Felicia gets a call about the results of a medical test, Anna wonders what it is, but Felicia simply answers a smile, the living. And that was sweet because they showed them going through her office, and she had the original badge that she had whenever she first started nursing there, and the progression of badges and pictures of her back whenever she first started at the hospital. At the deception office, Maxie and Cody talk about Bobbie. Maxie shares how Bobbie had been a mother figure to her after Felicia left Port Charles, and how Bobbie had taught her the importance of family. Their conversation shifts to Cody's purpose in life, with Felicia arriving and encouraging him that everyone has a purpose. Later, Felicia and Maxie visit BJ's grave, where Felicia offers flowers and talks about honoring their loved ones by embracing the living. They comfort each other, leaning on the memories they shared with Bobbie. At Cafe Cherie, Lucy arranges flowers for Bobbie's memorial service, while Scott expresses admiration for her efforts despite her complicated history with Bobbie. Lucy admits that she had been jealous of Bobbie, but wonders if they could have been friends had she been honest. Scott reassures her that they probably would have been. The two joke about their plan to marry Scott off to Tracy after the memorial service. Carly, reflecting on her grief, sits alone in Kelly's and is soon visited by Elizabeth, who offers condolences. Elizabeth speaks about the comfort she felt from Bobbie during her darkest moments and how Bobbie's legacy will live on. Carly thanks Elizabeth for her words, and they share a hug before Elizabeth leaves. Carly, still overcome with emotion, wonders aloud how she will go on without Bobbie. Sonny arrives at Kelly's and offers his condolences. Carly finds comfort in his presence as they reflect on Bobbie's life and the complex relationship she had with Sonny. Carly acknowledges that Bobbie had been sensitive and open-minded, and Sonny admits that he owes a lot to both Carly and Bobbie for showing him that forgiveness and healing are possible. Their conversation is interrupted by Carly noticing bruises on Sonny's hands. He brushes it off, saying that losing his temper didn't help, but Carly thanks him for being there for her. After a heartfelt exchange, Sonny leaves, reassuring Carly that Bobbie would have been proud of how she's handling Kelly's. Finally, Laura at the hospital shares a photo of Bobbie on the memorial wall. She lovingly touches the frame as Spencer approaches, and moved by emotion, Laura embraces her grandson tightly, reflecting the deep sorrow that has touched everyone who knew Bobbie. The episode ends with a sense of collective grief as people who love Bobbie try to navigate a world without her. At Harborview Towers, Sam and Dante met Sonny in the elevator, all appearing somber. Meanwhile, Maxie at home prepares James to help Cody at the stables when Felicia and Anna arrive to take her to Bobbie's funeral. Everyone exchanges hugs as they share in their grief. In another part of town, Jocelyn greets her grief-stricken Uncle Lucas, who had just arrived in town. After exchanging hugs, Michael offers his condolences. Inside the house, Carly sat in front of her vanity, tearfully gazing at a photo of Bobbie. As she got ready for the funeral, her emotions took over. Drew waited for her in the living room, and Lucas, Michael, and Jocelyn joined them. Carly expressed her sorrow, and Lucas reassured her that they'd get through it together. Carly then took a call from Elizabeth, who informed her that Kelly's sign had been knocked down in the storm. Carly was touched when Elizabeth offered to paint a new one in honor of Bobbie. At All Saints Chapel, Carly, Drew, Michael, Jocelyn, and Lucas gathered. Carly apologized for keeping everyone waiting, and Lucas reminded her to take it minute by minute. Guests started arriving, and a photograph of Bobbie was displayed at the front of the church. Carly greeted Sonny, Dante, and Sam before speaking with Laura, who had agreed to deliver Bobbie's eulogy. Tracy, feeling emotional, shared a few words with Carly and Maxie. Felicia and Anna discussed memories of Bobbie. As the service began, a group of speakers paid tribute to Bobbie. Laura described her as more than a sister-in-law, but a true friend. Scott, though at a loss for words, shared how Bobbie had been a supportive presence in his life. Elizabeth spoke about Bobbie's resilience and healing nature, and Carly delivered a heartfelt speech reflecting on her complicated relationship with Bobbie and how Bobbie had helped her turn her life around. As Carly wrapped up, emotions ran high and the service ended. Outside, Maxie approached a mysterious woman in the crowd who introduced herself as Angela Brighton, a reporter from the Associated Press. Angela revealed that she had been working with Bobbie on a story about her charity work helping young women escape human trafficking. Carly, Felicia, and Maxie were shocked by this revelation, especially when Angela mentioned that Bobbie had been a victim of trafficking herself. Angela explained that Bobbie had been working with a young woman named Cornelia and had expressed concern about her safety. Carly, determined to find out what happened to Cornelia, contacted Tracy for help. Tracy, surprised by the news of Bobbie's charity work, shared some memories about Bobbie's secretive nature in a cabin in Ontario. Carly decided to travel to Amsterdam and then to Canada to track down Cornelia. Felicia agreed to accompany her. In Amsterdam, Carly and Felicia met a contact who confirmed that Bobbie had been helping Cornelia escape trafficking. However, the contact revealed that Bobbie had passed away before Cornelia could receive the help she needed. The pair traveled to Luke's old cabin in Ontario, where they discovered Cornelia still waiting for Bobbie. After some tense moments, Carly and Felicia managed to reassure her that Bobbie had passed away. Cornelia, devastated, finally dropped the shovel she had been holding and collapsed into Carly's arms. Back in Port Charles, Maxie and Angela continued working on Bobbie's story, with Angela meeting many of Bobbie's friends. As stories about Bobbie's kindness, resilience, and fierce loyalty emerged, a picture of the woman Bobbie had been became clearer. Maxie and Angela grew closer, but a mystery surrounded Angela's true identity. Maxie tried to track Angela down online, but found nothing. Felicia's search for her led to a shocking revelation. Angela Brighton didn't exist in any official records. At Kelly's diner, Carly, Lucas, Laura, and Elizabeth gathered around a new green sign Elizabeth had painted in Bobbie's honor. Carly's emotions overwhelmed her as she reflected on her mother's legacy. As Carly left the diner, she encountered Angela again, who seemed to disappear before her eyes. Later, Felicia had a realization. Stop looking at me as I'm reading. I can, feel you. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to start crying. Don't mind as I turn my phone this way. Jeez. Later, Felicia has a realization. Angela was actually Bobbie's deceased daughter, BJ. This connection explains the strange encounters, and Felicia and Maxie were left in tears. Oh my God.
Seriously, the best.
Oh, stop. This connection explained this strange encounter, and Felicia and Maxie were left in tears, grieving the loss of Bobbie while also confronting the unresolved pain of BJ's death. In the diner, Carly found peace staring at the new sign for Bobbie. It read Bobbie's, symbolizing the lasting legacy Bobbie left behind. Carly, reflecting on her complicated relationship with her mother, expressed gratitude for the time they had together, finally finding some solace. As the episode closed, Carly's flashbacks to Bobbie's life and the overwhelming love everyone had for her filled the screen. Carly placed her hand on Bobbie's necklace, a reminder of the woman who had touched so many lives. The final moment revealed Carly's resolve to honor Bobbie's memory with the new sign outside Kelly's representing Bobbie's enduring impact on the community.
They left out that she called Lucas champ.
They did. I'm sorry.
That's when we knew for sure that was BJ,
That
because his story was Bobbie hated nicknames, even though her nickname was Bobbie. And,
yes.
But she allowed BJ to call him champ, and then later on, after they hung the new sign and everything, he's talking to her and whatever. And he turns away and she's just like, bye, champ. And then that's when, I think, because at the same time is when Felicia was realizing,
yes.
Sorry, that is still like one of the best send-offs ever.
It was an amazing send-off, which makes you even more mad about the crap that they're doing for Luke. But I was like, I almost finished.
I was doing good, okay?
I can just feel you. Stop it.
Until we got to Angela, I was doing fine.
Right.
Also, the fact that that is the actress who portrayed BJ as a child. I mean,
yeah.
This is what you do to Legacy. Like, what the heck are they gonna do for Robert?
Yeah.
This is going to be me. This is the new goal. Like, this is the new marker. Anything less than this, we don't accept.
Right.
So we're gonna have to figure out how to redo Luke's. And
they really should, because okay, so we hear like in this that Bobbie was working to help free the different women. Why can't we come up with that's what Luke was doing and that's why he was killed, and do like a whole memorial on that? Like, he was helping. That's why Bobbie, that's like how Bobbie got into it and continued on the mission, was because it turned out that Luke had been helping because he was so close to the situation after everything that Bobbie
Luke picked up, even though he was quote dead, he picked up and kept helping after Bobbie passed.
They could do that too, but if they don't want to rewrite that he actually died, then they could give meaning, like that it suddenly comes out that the reason that he was killed was because of this. Like,
not that he died on his way to a bank in a cable car.
Right. Like 2 years later, Tracy could get a letter that is like thanking her for all the work that Bobbie did that was then, she'll find out, was then started by Luke, and that's why he was killed. And then we can go into like a deep dive of all the wonderful things that Luke did and all the crazy stuff that Luke did throughout his life and do a proper tribute. Like, it really wouldn't be that difficult. We can link these two stories together. Bobbie was over there.
Anything other than what they did.
Exactly. We cannot just replay Luke's last episode and be like, oh, sorry, he's gone. No.
And part of Luke's story is Robert.
Right.
So they had better, at bare minimum, Luke had better be, the parts that involve Luke had better be fully addressed. Not just, oh yeah, remember that one time when, Luke died in the avalanche and Robert took over Holly, like took care of Holly after she thought that she lost Luke? No, like that had better be thoroughly explained. And
anything. They really have a way to connect all these people, even if they just wanted to do one episode that tied it all together in a pretty bow. Like, they really could, for the stuff that Luke had gone through with Robert.
Like, they did a pretty decent job with Monica. I am happy about the way that, I'm not happy about all the Drew stuff, but I feel like they had to do that to tie into the storyline, and it makes sense because Drew is so fighting with the Quartermain. So, it's not like they created a new conflict to bring into it, but like having Ronnie, be there because we know that Monica had such a difficult childhood, like it made sense. And that was a great way to be able to call all that back because you had someone who was there firsthand with Monica, And so, yeah, but this with Bobbie, like that's, and having Epiphany die, helping somebody with a car, it's, who hates Luke that much that they did that to him? Right.
I don't understand, but we'll figure it out as time goes on. But we made it through Bobbie. There we go. That was the end.
We did. It was fun as I bawl my eyes out. But it was just so good.
It was.
We need to be replacing these characters.
Yeah.
And not letting them go.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. I got nothing. So join us on Monday as we recap this week's shows.
Have a good weekend.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.